Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Welcome. Good afternoon, early evening. I don't really know.
Good
Time of
dusk.
day.
Not quite yet.
Yeah, we're still confused with daylight savings time and what time actually it is anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Here we are.
Welcome to the Addison Public Library's third week in our Media Madness event. We are, every March we do this. By the way, my name is Courtney. This is Rachel. We are both teen librarians at the Addison Public Library. So every April, no, we're not in April, we're in March. Every March.
It's still March.
It is still March. Not too long though.
Not too long.
Pretty soon.
This week and next week.
Real fast.
But yeah, we started with 32 competitors the first week of March.
Yeah, so
Down
that's
to 16.
Mm-hmm.
This week we're to our
Elite Eight.
Eight.
Yeah. So if you are unfamiliar with Media Madness, this is our annual competition where we put against books, movies, video games, and music, and we put them head to head to see which one has come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
Now we always choose something that came out the year before, which is the case this time, with one random caveat of one thing that came out January 5th, but it was part of the Christmas season. So we established that it was the holiday season for 2024, so it counts.
Yeah.
That said, this year, 2025, has already kicked off.
Yeah.
On some pretty heavy topics.
We should probably start a draft of what we think might be next year's Media Madness.
Well, just today, the new Hunger Games book came out.
Yes, and you didn't hear it from me, but there's a copy on our Lucky Day rack right now. Will it be there in an hour?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Because I did see that one kid.
Will it be there in 2 hours? Maybe not. If it's there in an hour, it might be coming out with me.
Yeah. Now, Lucky Day is a different kind of situation. It's shorter checkout time. But that's because it's a high popular item.
High popular item. You cannot put a hold on it. If it's there, it's there, and you can take it. But yeah, you get it for 1 week.
Yeah, it's literally a lucky thing. You walk in, ooh, lucky you, it's there.
Yeah.
Even if you have it on hold, it could randomly be there, and you can go grab it.
Yeah, but my jaw did drop when I came down. I was like,
me too. But it literally came out today. We put it on shelves today. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a good likelihood that one's showing up on the bracket for next year.
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
Yeah.
What we are doing now today is we are going over the matchups from last week, the Sweet 16 matchups, going over the wins, the losses, as well as the new matchups, and we are going over some fun 1-star and 5-star reviews of the items that have left.
Yes.
I tried to find a good variety on some things.
And I have not seen them.
That is right. They are a delight, a new delight for Rachel altogether. So we also have a new setup, which might take just half a moment. First, we got to do that. We refresh that. And just for making sure that makes sense, there we go. That works too. All right, so we are into Media Madness. We are now on our Elite 8, which is wild to me how quickly that happens. It just zooms right by.
Yeah.
Half the time I'm like, what? And then next week is going to be really active.
Next week we're going to just scrunch it all in, and we'll start the week with our final 4.
Yep.
And we'll end the week with our championship. And
we sure will.
And crowning our winner.
Yeah, and we will let you know what the schedule is later on in the stream. But if you are wondering, how does voting work? You can vote a whole medley of ways. You can come in person to the library and vote there.
Yes, in the teen department, we have stickers out. If you don't see stickers, find a librarian, they'll get you stickers.
Yep, and I'm going to post right now ways that you can learn more about the Media Madness. That has all the links to the different ways that you can vote, including our online form. You are also allowed to vote on this stream right now. And that has happened. Every week we've had voters. So make sure you do that. We make count, and we do add them to the totals.
I believe, are the Instagram stories up today?
Yeah, right now we have the Instagram stories, so if you follow us on socials, you can also vote there. Now if you're like, but I already voted one place, I shouldn't vote somewhere else. Why?
Yeah.
Why not?
Everywhere. Whatever.
Vote everywhere. Why not? Go vote. Honestly, you're competing against teenagers, so go vote. Hello, thanks for joining us, Green Vault Line. I'm so glad you joined us. Just in time, because we're going to start going over all of the different matchups that we had last week, and now we are going straight into it. So last week we had our book matchups. So first matchup was Heartless Hunter, which is a young adult novel, and that one was versus God of the Woods. So in this case, the Heartless Hunter won out on top. This one, The God of the Woods, is such a great book, a wonderful title, and it really did very well, like on our socials votings. So like that was
more
really
of
good.
An adult demographic. Yeah,
but definitely Heartless Hunter took over everywhere else, which, as you can see, 47 to 45, really close, very close indeed.
Yeah, this week's were much closer overall.
Very much so. Not so much so with the graphic novels. Overall, Seal Before Sunrise was the main contender on this one, for sure. So that one came out with 45 votes overall, which was really impressive.
That one's been interesting because we've heard from the teenagers that they've not read either one, so they're voting on cover, basically.
That's true, and I honestly thought that like the more like manhwa like vibe would have taken over more. It's a grayed out thumbnail now, but if you're not familiar with that, it's like very bold coloring. It's yellow and like bright, and I don't know, I guess they just Seal Before Sunrise really spoke to some people. Yeah. So as it is right now, the votes between Heartless Hunter and Seal Before Sunrise are dead even. So they're very, very close. So if you are very strongly opinionated on which one of these two need to be voted for, feel free, vote in the chat. You can also follow the link and find out more about the little contest that we're doing here. But now we're going to go through some 1-star reviews and 5-star reviews for each one.
Let's see. I have also not read either of these.
Me neither. So what I do know about Heartless Hunter is that this is a like enemies to lovers fantasy dark romance. We have a witch who is in hiding, who decides to start dating a witch hunter with hopes of like finding out his secrets and getting like the inside scoop.
She's using him.
Yes. Meanwhile, he is dating her because there's this vigilante witch who uses her ships to smuggle witches out.
Sure.
Who is her. Yeah. And he doesn't know that though, so he's trying to get the inside scoop on that. And they're using each other, but then they're like, oh no, he's hot, like that sort of thing. So we are going with that kind of vibe. So we're starting with our 1-star reviews. This one had me cackle. My favorite 1-star review. My little toe has more chemistry with the foot of my bed than whatever these two had. Which, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of makes me want to read it.
Of the chemistry there, yeah.
Which, I mean, that's also like a personal preference thing, for sure.
Yeah.
But somebody else said, it is tropey and very flawed, but I believe people will enjoy it so long as it finds the right audience. I still can't help with wishing the entire plot had been different.
To read a different book.
I mean, it's an option.
Different book would have a different plot.
Yeah, so like some pretty scathing reviews.
Yeah.
For sure. But it does have some quite redeeming 5-star reviews.
All right.
So these people, one said, the characters are fully developed, the plot is engaging, the writing is spot on, and the overall vibe is enchanting. It's just a high quality novel in all the ways that matter to me as a reader. So like
that to me. That's important.
Which valid, like totally valid, and somebody else went, holy, enter swear word here, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, ampersand, money face, smiley face, money face, money face, backslash, ampersand, and so on and so on. So they liked it.
That sounds like the type of audience that this book needs, is the kind that's going to leave this review.
If you are a fan of young adult
tropes,
fantasy, tropey, dark romance, enemies to lovers, you're gonna get what you want, you know?
Which honestly, like, younger demographic, readers of fanfic who are familiar with tropes.
Yes.
This is,
very true. So I do know that there was a kiddo who was up there earlier and was like, oh no, and like stickers onto Heartless Hunter. So it's getting its love. We'll see. All right, so the other one was our graphic novel, and that one is about a woman who is kind of figuring out her way in the world. She's working a job at night, and she meets another woman who is just different, you know? This woman likes to break into people's homes when they're not home and like photograph it and paint the place, and it's its own thing. So this one does have a couple of 1-star reviews that I pulled out. So one said, I wish I would have given up and not finished it. I kept waiting for something to happen, for there to be a twist or a storyline somewhere, but there just wasn't. Which is fair.
Okay.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Somebody else said, I didn't like the story. It was really weird, and also I didn't enjoy the art style.
Okay.
Which is also totally valid. I kicked a chair. And scared Rachel.
A lot of chairs in this building or in this room.
Yeah, there's
when we're also like talking about this like
dreamy, yeah.
Novel.
And that's kind of what this is.
That's the vibe.
Like,
it's not like plot. It's just like, what if a character took pictures?
It's contemplative, it's introspective, it's kind of philosophical.
Yeah.
So, and if you're like, I want, somewhere to go with something, this might not be your choice. However, it was definitely some people's choices. So, 5-star reviews. I did enjoy the drawing, and the scenery brought to life within the pages of this comic book reminded me of real-life drama places and made me think about people who stayed behind or went ahead for any reason, and life brought us to different places. It's a book that will make you think about your own life, and for that reason, I loved it, and I can't recommend it enough. Okay. Glowing praise.
Yeah.
For sure. Somebody else says this is a quiet, reflective graphic novel that deals delicately and metaphorically with the process of coming to realize your own identity.
Perfect.
Which is exactly it. And I mean, this I think is also a matter of taste. It is, it may be something that you absolutely love and that you vibe with, and it may also be something that you just, absolutely not. Not for me.
Right.
Which is totally good.
It's good to know what is for you and what's not for you, and and it's okay if you start reading it and it's not for you, you can close it.
That's right, yeah.
We can put it back. Yeah,
we always say, even when we recommend books to people, here you go. If you don't like it, close it and bring it back. Like, it's okay. I hope you enjoy it, but we won't be insulted.
Yeah.
And I'd rather that you read something that you enjoy than suffer through something that you don't, So... give things a try, but if you don't like it, don't like it. It's okay. Yep. And so these two books, very different. Very different in every way. So if you're watching and listening, if you have an opinion on which one, you are welcome to vote in the chat. We will keep a track. And we'll see which one goes out to the winner for next week. All right, so that is it for our books, which is shocking to me that we only have one matchup of each type now.
Which will be the top book.
So now we are moving on to our movies. So last week, we started, our first matchup was Wicked versus Inside Out 2. That was rough. That was very rough.
Yeah.
So this was an incredibly close race, and actually the votes on Twitch and on our Instagram stories are what actually won Wicked the top spot.
Yeah.
So Willy Billy, if you are watching, good job. You voted for not the underdog this time, and your vote really mattered.
Yeah.
So this one, Wicked walked away with 69 votes, while 65 went to Inside Out 2, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
I should also say, if you were watching last week, you might be noticing that these votes there's so many of them this time, like 120 something, or so votes. This week I visited the high school and I took the voting sheets there, and I had a bunch of high schoolers vote too.
Perfect.
So normally we get mostly middle schoolers, so it was really good to get the high school vote in, and boy, did they have opinions, which will show pretty strongly later in.
Yeah.
So Wicked came on through, and then we had our matchup of Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, and Sonic 3. It was pretty much the same thing. So it was very close, but it was the Twitch vote, it was the Instagram stories vote that got Godzilla the win.
Yeah.
So that was 66-61.
Because Sonic, we thought might cruise all the way to the end based on how popular it was.
Absolutely. So right now, we are Godzilla versus Wicked.
Yep.
And
that's a matchup right there.
That is absolutely a matchup.
I love the covers.
It kind of does line up.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
The green Godzilla,
Yeah, you got. Oh yeah, you definitely got some pink versus
some
Godzilla. Godzilla's Galinda. And Kong is Elphaba. Well, that actually makes sense. Kong is a lot more emotionally aware.
Yeah. But even I'm saying just Godzilla has the green and pink together,
That's
a whole
true.
Wicked motif going on.
Yeah, I love this.
It's enemies, but also besties.
So what you're saying is that we need a crossover.
Yeah.
I'm so very down with this. So Godzilla x Kong is the 5th in the MonsterVerse franchise, and I have just watched them all.
A franchise that dates back to World War II.
Yeah, the original source stuff is quite old.
The MonsterVerse, no, but Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh, we're knocking over everything scary. That was a water bottle, and it wasn't me.
Wait, this is totally unrelated. I was at the zoo. In the place where you can feed the birds. And someone dropped a metal water bottle.
Oh no.
The birds just it was, my sister-in-law was terrified.
Oh my goodness.
It was very funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, lordy. Okay. Trying to get my nerves back into my brain. Anywho. So Godzilla this is the 5th in the MonsterVerse, which is the legendary MonsterVerse, which started around early 2000s.
Yes.
It was Godzilla, Kong, Skull Island, and then King of Monsters, then Godzilla x Kong, versus Kong, that one, and then this is when they team up together.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And then Wicked, highly famous, well looked forward to. Very old
franchise
lineage going on there. Yeah, it's just real good too. But very different movies for very different people.
Yes.
I can also let you know right now Godzilla is winning. So hello. Glad to see you, Coco.
Oh, hello.
So you can vote too. So if you want Godzilla or Kong or Wicked so just put in the chats and you can have a vote. So now time for 1-star, 5-star reviews of these movies. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
We're starting off with Godzilla and Kong with our 1-star reviews. I also really like this review. The whole 2000s reboots of the Godzilla movies are based on a hollow earth, something that does not exist. So I just want you to know, nor does gigantic 400-foot tall gorillas or lizards that breathe radioactive fire.
Kong, yes. Yeah. Where I draw the line
is hollow earth. Which, fair. I mean, have your own thing. I personally draw the line on the architecture not being conducive for titans living in your world. Stop building things with cement. Yeah. We need to change everything. Yeah. But hey, I get it. Somebody else said, first of all, the plot made no sense, and it felt like the only reason the humans were there were to move the plot forward. We could have done this movie without the humans.
Oh, sure.
I feel it. I do.
Yeah.
I totally get there. The best parts were Kong.
Yeah.
And Godzilla's cool, but I like Kong the most.
Yeah.
But, so I
don't even know what humans are in the movie.
People.
Actor-wise, I don't even know who's in these movies.
It really was the humans in that was to uncover the lore of Kong and Godzilla and the expectations there. So there's a purpose, but I totally get what they're feeling too. But now on to some 5-star reviews.
Yes.
I liked this one. Growl, snarl, boom. Fun and goofiness, action and adventure, all the clashing and excitement of a nuclear barrel of monkeys, a supersonic CGI blast off. And it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And somebody else said, this is a one-of-a-kind movie that I wanted as a child. Or this is the kind of movie I wanted as a child. So seeing 3 iconic kaiju team up in the same movie in order to fight a monster who represents all of humanity's evil and a literal walking ice age was awesome.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah.
So very much, we've got reviews from people who are just like, I have lines on these things, which is totally fair, to people who are just like, I had a great time.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted.
Yeah. You gotta know going into it.
You do. It's necessary.
It's either for you or not.
Yeah, I do think too that some people kind of watched Godzilla -1 and expected a totally different vibe. And instead got something absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, there are 2 Godzilla movies that could not be more different.
Yeah. I was watching a video earlier of where people were talking about Jurassic World is kind of outrageous. They should do a crossover with Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
Because they're getting to that level of just absolutely absurd. And I feel like this would also be a good contender for a Fast and the Furious crossover.
Oh, for sure.
It'd be
Could you imagine?
so fun. But so those are Godzilla reviews. But then we're going into our Wicked. So 1-star reviews for Wicked. It has to be done. So this one person said Wicked, or rather, how I would rather walk into a burning theater than sit through this again.
Oh no.
Wicked, it isn't just bad, it's a cinematic war crime. Harsh words. Somebody else says that this is over the top for anyone who wants a serious reimagining of the evolution of Glinda the Good and Elphaba the Wicked.
Okay. Yes.
It's
a musical.
It is.
Of course it's over the top.
Well, in fairness, I could see somebody being like, oh, this is a movie adaptation of the book Wicked.
Sure.
Which is drastically different.
It's not. It's a movie adaptation of the stage musical.
Right. So, fair point for that person's expectation. But, it's just, it's not for everybody, and that's totally fair. However, it's definitely for these people.
Yeah.
So, Wicked, the highly anticipated film adaptation of the beloved Broadway musical, see they know, delivers a spectacular, visually stunning experience that will captivate both longtime fans and newcomers alike.
Yeah.
And I can attest. Truth. Loved it. As a longtime fan of both the original book by Gregory Maguire and the beloved stage musical, I approached the new Wicked movie with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. However, from the moment the opening notes of the score filled the theater, I knew I was in for a magical experience that would resonate deeply in my heart.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
very
nice?
heartfelt.
It's so heartfelt.
A fan of the book and the stage.
That person's review was very well thought out.
Yeah.
And it was also very long.
I'm sure. Sometimes the reviews people leave, it's like, how do you have the time to type this all out?
Yeah, but
I'm just like, 5 stars, they kissed.
Good job. You're very low bar. Very low bar.
I'm easily entertained. Most things get 5 stars from me.
That's fair. I think I'm like a baseline 4-star person. You really have to wow me to get a 5-star.
Yeah.
But like a 4-star is like good praise anyway. But it's just funny. So this in very much a different way. So I wanted to find 2 of them where somebody who loved it no matter what, and then somebody who kind of walked in with a little bit of hesitancy, but loved it in its own way.
Yeah.
And personally, I've seen Wicked on stage, 4 times? 3 times, 4 times? Girl Scouts was the thing. So
that's what I gotta do?
Yeah,
I gotta be a Girl Scout?
Gotta be a Girl Scout, apparently. You got discounted tickets that way.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just how it goes. So I've seen the musical on stage, and I've heard the music all over the board, and then finally got to watch this.
Yeah.
I think they did so well. I really did. But ultimately, this is now a matchup between Godzilla and Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not voting on this one. I like them both too much, personally.
Just have to see where...
Yeah, we need to see where it lines up. So, as I said, I think before earlier, Godzilla's running the game today so far. So if you feel very opinionated on it, make sure that you vote in the comments or in the chat right now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, get that vote in. Yes. We look at them, we count them up. We count them up. All right, on to our video games.
Let's see. Wait, what?
Yeah. Oops.
Okay. That was just flipped, right?
That was just oops. That was flipseed. All right. Well, good catch. Okay, so the colorful boxes are correct and my numbers are wrong on one end. All right. So starting off with, we had The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Time, or Wisdom. Sorry, you know what it is. Versus Astrobot. Yes. Astrobot just annihilated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just what it was.
Little bot.
Zelda had 29 votes. Astrobot had 55. On the other matchup, it was NBA 2K25 versus Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Mm-hmm. Now, I think what happened here with the numbers is this is what I want the votes to be.
Sure. Or you saw NBA 2K25 and you said 2-5.
That is also possible. However, those numbers are flipped.
Yeah.
So NBA absolutely destroyed.
How did the high schoolers feel about this matchup?
100. It was like...
That's where all the Like a Dragon votes came from?
So many. Like a Dragon only had probably half of those of the 25.
Yeah.
For Like a Dragon, probably half of them were in person here, and half of them were at the high school. They did also get some votes within the socials and stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, it just dominated no matter where you went. NBA. Yeah. And I do think that a big portion of that is Like a Dragon is such a great, the Yakuza series is amazing, but I don't think that it's got the pop culture known place. I'm so sad because I just want to talk about this game forever.
Yeah.
But NBA, many people play it. Even people who wouldn't be playing indie games or RPGs or things it's more of an accessible game for a lot of different people. It's also on a lot of consoles.
That's true.
And you have
accessible.
This is what, the 26th, 27th of the series.
Yeah.
So it's also got a long standing.
Yeah, someone like my mom knows that that's a video game. She probably has never heard of Like a Dragon. I would be shocked if she had heard of it.
Now, here's the interesting lineup, is Astrobot versus NBA 2K25.
Yes.
So we have Astrobot, who is the Game of the Year winner of 2024, versus NBA 2K25, which generally has a star rating of 1.7.
Yeah.
So...
The cover is great, though.
Yeah, honestly.
It's a good cover.
It's a great cover.
Yeah.
It really is. So right now, I will let you know Astrobot is winning, which makes me incredibly happy. And I am also staying away from voting on this one because I know what I want to vote for, but I don't want my heart too broken. But so we're between those two. However, there's some very strong opinions on both of these. So let's go with our
Game
reviews.
of the Year, 1 star.
Starting with the Game of the Year. Now, I will say that when this got the Game of the Year, it definitely got review bombed. So there's an aspect of that, but it does give me some good things to pull from. So somebody says, is it good? Sure. It's pretty fun if you have nothing else to do.
Oh.
Vicious.
Yeah.
Vicious. And somebody else says, basically Sony waited 30 to 40 years until Nintendo cooked and peaked with the Mario games, but then put the best of all Mario game ideas into Astrobot and plastered a Sony stamp on it.
Okay.
Also vicious. Admittedly, it is a 3D platformer, very similar to the more recent video or Mario games that are also 3D platformers. The technology and the engineering on the whole entire thing has improved over the years, and Mario's been a big contender on that. But So is like, Banjo-Kazooie and a bunch of other phenomenal games.
Platforming is...
Spyros, So it's not unique. So we'll go straight to our 5 stars. This person says, this is a nostalgic trip down memory lane, filled with references and cameos from PlayStation classics like Ape Escape and Jak and Daxter. Even though Sony hasn't done much with these franchises in recent years, Astrobot reminds us just how great these old games were. You even find nods to other titles like Bloodborne, which adds a fresh twist to the experience.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that was one of the more fun things with it. Last week's, we had it under the new nostalgia because it kind of like brought a lot of like the older little references and things that we all kind of loved.
Yeah.
And somebody else says, I feel like this game is a mixture of young and old, innovative yet nostalgic, and overall a delight to play. I can't seem to stop playing it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a lot of love for this game, and
I
mean, we've obviously been seeing that within the sticker voting, for sure. So yeah, if you are also like Astrobot for the win, vote. Just comment down below.
Astrobot's gonna need it.
Yeah, we are. All right, so on to NBA 2K25. So this one, NBA 2K25 is obviously like a sports simulator. They, I think, every year they kind of like scan or update like the new things.
Update the players, the teams. Yeah, I feel like they've tried some different gameplay stuff. Like you can create your own player and get drafted and traded, and like if you're more into that side of things. But if you just want to like log in and play some basketball, you can do that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, the graphics, I think it's been fun for people to see the evolution of the graphics. The early games, we're looking at like
a little
very
simple, less defined.
And glitching, people falling through the court, things like that.
Right.
Where like that, it looks like a photo.
It is.
Looks like a video.
It's a great cover, really. When I was going through the reviews, I do think I was seeing a lot of people comparing it to 2K16, maybe 18. I don't remember. I'm bad with numbers. Okay. But I think like people were like, that was the good year.
Oh, okay. There's always one from years ago that you're like, nothing will hit like that one.
Right. And I think like every series kind of has that too. And when a new one comes out, that's the one you're comparing it to.
Yes.
So it's kind of tough to beat real good, that sort of thing. So on to our 1 stars. Also to kind of explain, there was quite a lot of controversy there's been a running controversy with the 2K25 or 2K series. A lot with like cost and microtransactions, and like you purchase the game and then you have to buy more stuff and so on and so on and so on. Or like to unlock different game modes, you have to pay even more money for that. Yeah. So a lot of these reviews kind of are referring to that sort of thing. So one person said, every year, 2K Sports makes promises of new and improved games, enticing consumers who anticipate an enhanced gaming experience. However, year after year, they find ways to deceive both loyal fans and newcomers who purchase the game under false pretenses. This practice, known as bait and switch, is deeply concerning. Okay. Whereas somebody else was a little bit more pointed, saying a game worth €80, or about $70 is where it retails here, it is worth $70 and it's unplayable unless you spend more. Everything in this game is made to make you buy more virtual currency. Sure. Which is rough. Yeah. So. And that's a very valid criticism, especially considering, of course there's adults playing this, but there are kids that are into basketball, and this is the basketball game. Yeah. I would say like it's a bit tricky on like the library aspect too, because we would want to put on like a game just to like have kiddos play, but they're not going to like a long career mode type of a thing, right? And we're not going to be purchasing DLCs to like open up stuff. So it's a contending factor.
Well, and even for if someone's checking it out from the library,
that's true too. Or you're going to go and invest on that? Like, yeah, and you're only going to have it checked out for so many weeks. Right, exactly. So, unless you just keep checking that sucker out, which, hey, I mean, that means this thing's got good circulation. All right, so, but there are some pretty fierce defenders. Okay. Still so. And I tried to find reviews that kind of address those issues. So one person says, honestly, this game felt exactly like real life. And it's kind of cool. The graphics are amazing. Not much difference from 2 years ago, but they're still nice. The gameplay is the best it's ever been, which should be the most important thing to 2K players.
Okay.
So, fair point. I mean, personally, I can't attest, obviously.
Yeah.
But, fair point. We also have, this game feels very realistic this year, and it appeals to those who have patience.
Okay.
Make your player based off of your true play style instead of copying everyone else. That's what gaming is about. If you have patience and are willing to play smart ball, then you will be rewarded.
Oh.
So this was part of a longer review where they were discussing you don't have to like purchase into all these things. There's a longer format that you can do where you can unlock certain things. So they were saying that you can have just as much enjoyment and fulfillment, but in a different way. Which valid as well. People are going to play games in very different ways depending on what they prefer. And, some people will vibe with one and other people they won't with another. Just like from Dark Souls and other From Software games, those games are vicious mean, and that's not for everybody. So it may just be that the trends on 2K games are just changing up. Who knows? But yeah, so that's our video games. If you have opinions, chat away. Tell us your votes. Let us know what's up. And then we'll move straight into our music. Ready?
Into our music. I'm ready.
Into our music.
Wow, these votes.
So close.
Are these the highest numbers of votes?
They are. They sure are.
Which is so interesting to me.
Yeah. This is where the high schoolers screamed their opinions.
Yes, I'm sure.
Screamed them.
And last year, the year before, I feel like the last 3 years, music has kind of been, books are always the least voted on because people feel like, oh, I haven't read the book. They're the least likely to have consumed the media. Yeah. Unless if they're super into those books that we picked. Yeah. Where movies, most people have seen / heard of. Video games are very popular.
Our music is usually nothing.
Yeah, and I feel like there just hasn't been a strong music scene in the past few years. It was just kind of this has been one of the more diverse years as far as multiple genres represented. Oh yeah. It's been a great year for music.
It really has. Good music. It genuinely has. So we had Tyler the Creator with Chromacopia versus Bad Bunny's title that can you say it? I cannot say it. It translates to I should have taken more photos.
Tirar mas
fotos. Yes. So very, very close. The high school really wanted Tyler the Creator. There were several people who had seen him in concert.
And middle schoolers too.
Yeah, and there was one kiddo who was like, I saw him last year. I'm seeing him next year. I'm so excited. So lots and lots of love from the high school. But Bad Bunny took it away everywhere else. Bad Bunny had the most votes in the building, as well as on all the other socials and everything else too. So Bad Bunny went through, and then our other matchup was Kendrick Lamar versus Billie Eilish. And that was a spicy one for sure.
Yes.
This was where the high school, Billie Eilish was very much in the win. But then the high school brought Kendrick Lamar straight in.
Sure.
It was very close, but it was the high school votes that really did it for Kendrick.
Yeah.
And so now we are hitting with these two powerhouses. Absolute powerhouses.
It would have been interesting to see a Kendrick versus Tyler matchup. Tyler the Creator is so popular here. And I don't, nowhere else in my life am I, hearing as much about him except here at work. I feel like
they love him.
They really do.
This community in general really love him.
Yeah.
But then also they really love...
But Bad Bunny is...
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny, I think Tyler is very popular with the teenagers.
Yes.
Bad Bunny's popular teen and adult.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
At least,
yeah.
here.
And this matchup is a real big one too.
This is very interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. The interesting thing too is I thought that this one would be a little bit more closely running.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, Bad Bunny is like clearly in the lead on this one. So
Yeah.
we'll see where that can lead.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it would have been interesting to see Kendrick versus Tyler, because I think Tyler would have beaten Kendrick in a head-to-head matchup.
Yeah, we'll have to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Now, these are quite fun reviews. So starting off with Kendrick Lamar's GNX 1-star reviews. So I think that there's some reviews that were probably, if you are aware of anything regarding Kendrick Lamar in the past like year or so, there was some beef with him and Drake. And that is probably all I can actually say with any confidence personally.
It was just slight.
Just a little bit, like just a lot. So just a bit. So there were certainly some
Drake fans?
There were certainly some Drake fans. But it's really hard to say if like someone's opinion on the album was colored by that in a very strong way or just not at all. So who knows? So with that caveat, some 1-star reviews. There was nothing to make you go wow and purchase this. It's his name that is making heads buy this album alone. Very poor effort to fleece folks out of their hard-earned money. And somebody else said, he should go back to keeping it silent for 5 years before dropping again, please. This is just mid, nothing valuable here.
Oh, man.
I thought that was funny.
That is kind
honestly.
of funny. Because he was pretty silent there.
It was a good burn.
Drake poked the bear, and
Yeah, it's just...
he was like, you know what? Diss tracks and an album. Here you go.
There you go. So he's had a pretty active year for sure. But, you know, Kendrick has some pretty strong supporters too. So one person just said it very clearly and simply, the album we Kendrick Lamar fans have all been waiting for.
Interesting.
And somebody else said, this album changed my life. Kendrick Lamar's GNX album is nothing short of a masterpiece, a sonic journey that feels like both a blessing and a bold artistic statement. From start to finish, the album showcases Kendrick's unparalleled ability to blend thought-provoking lyricism with innovative production, crafting a perfect balance of introspective tracks and high-energy bangers.
Wow.
That person thought things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very well thought.
Interesting, because I of course knew I had fans, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people were like, yeah, it was alright. It's not as good as,
Yeah.
you know, comparing it to other Kendrick albums, but
These people felt very strongly on it. And this one in particular, like, it hit them good, you know? Like, and it's good.
That's awesome.
So, great album overall. Well done. So now we're going into Bad Bunny, and we're doing this one a little bit backwards. We're doing the 5 stars first.
Okay.
So, and you'll see why. So,
Okay.
5 stars for Bad Bunny's newest album. So this one said, I felt that each song was unique, providing a window into the varied musical styles of the Puerto Rican culture. This album has it all: salsa, ballads, bomba, plena, Puerto Rican folk music, and some reggaeton, of course. Although I didn't particularly care for Bad Bunny's singing voice at first, it's grown on me. Overall, the rhythms and the melodies of his songs in this collection are sublime, making this album, in my humble opinion, a masterpiece.
Okay.
So this was a review that was part of a much larger one where they were explaining that they're less familiar with Bad Bunny. This was the first album that they kind of like listened to, and they like heard one of the songs on TikTok and was like,
Sure.
I'll give it a try. And they fell in love with it. Somebody else said, this album makes people very emotional. And the fact that so many people who aren't Spanish still cry over this song. I am from Nigeria, and my mom really likes the beat and the drums of this song. Bad Bunny is really talented, so talented that he makes people who don't understand this language very emotional.
Yeah.
And I mean, admittedly, I started listening to this and I was like, okay, it's kind of, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it does. This is music that transcends language, which is kind of great. You gotta love music that does that. And I mean, it's obvious that like Or obviously, it is possible that like all of the other musical artists that we spoke about has transcended language with their music as well.
Yeah.
But since they're speaking English and we're familiar with it, we haven't experienced that with their particular music.
Sure.
But other people might have. So much love for this. And then I found some very interesting 1-star reviews.
Oh boy.
So this person said, "This is a dull, forgettable misstep. The energy is gone, the production is bland, and the lyrics feel uninspired. Bad Bunny has done better. This one's not worth a replay."
Rough.
And somebody else said, "Bad Bunny's previous albums have been in their extensive length, well over 20 songs and close to 90 minutes on his last 2 studio albums. So the 60 minutes here ends up feeling a slight in comparison."
So 1 star, not long enough?
So here's the thing. There's something weird about these. First of all, the first one's written by ChatGPT
Okay.
because I literally could not find a single 1-star review.
Wait, what?
Not a one. I tried so hard. Like, I tried so hard. Now,
Okay.
mind you, this album is newer.
Yeah.
It's certainly newer. And it is also possible that I was not getting a lot of results because I was getting English results, and there were probably much stronger opinions like in more Spanish-speaking communities,
Sure.
which is fair. But really, I couldn't find any. I really couldn't.
So you asked Chat,
I was like, I need one,
just write me a 1-star review.
totally
Did you say for Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunnies of this album and
Yeah.
stuff. It was hilarious. I was like, good job,
Okay.
ChatGPT.
Alright.
That's a standard bad review.
Yeah.
And then the second one, the full quote was, "Much of my criticism of Bad Bunny's previous albums had been their extensive length, well over 20 songs and close to 90 minutes on his last 2 albums. So the 60 minutes here ends up feeling slight in comparison. It's all for the better,
Okay.
as it leaves Debí tirar más fotos as an all-killer, no-filler
Sure,
experience that only gets better every time I go back to it." I tried so
Yeah.
hard. I genuinely, I promise you,
Okay.
I spent an hour looking for
that's-
1-star reviews. So, but in
Praise.
fairness, there were less reviews available.
Yeah.
But it also does show how very loved it was, and is.
Mhm.
But I don't think it has as much reach.
That's true. Like, the amount of people listening to Kendrick,
Mm-hmm.
like, they're definitely not all Kendrick fans. There's
Yeah.
some just casual, like, oh, he's popular, he's in the
Mhm.
news, let me give it a listen. Oh, it's actually not my kind of music to
Yeah.
begin with. You're probably not going to listen to Bad Bunny unless if you already know I'm going to like Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I think that Kendrick is more of a household name, and
Mhm.
Bad Bunny is still growing in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think because I think the Spanish community is more familiar with him, whereas perhaps the English-speaking community may not be as familiar with him, but I think that's also growing in turn.
Yeah.
I would love to see the award season that would include this album.
Yes.
And I think it would be just an absolute delight if he gets nominated, and I think he should.
Yeah.
Gets nominated, and if he wins anything, I think
Yeah.
that would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll
I'm just
see.
thinking, like, for Kendrick's album, like, there are definitely Kendrick haters seeking it out to listen
Yes.
to in order to give a bad review.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
And I don't think Bad Bunny's really got any of the same beef.
yeah.
Yeah, so keep it that way, my guy.
Yeah.
You're doing great. So I tried so hard to find 1-star reviews.
That's
I
fine.
really did. I had to fake one. That was so funny. All right, anyway, so here is the current bracket. So you can see our entire
We are getting there.
the whole journey, all the way from our whole full 32 to our current Elite 8.
8.
Woof. Yeah.
Yeah, so the votes for these will give us our top book, our top movie,
Yes.
our top video game, and our top album.
They sure will.
Each quadrant.
Yeah, and I apparently closed out the document that had the notes for the links.
Let's put in the links.
Yeah, putting in the links. So there are several links that are going to be popping in here. So if you want to find where in the library's catalog, like in our library collection, where any of these items are, because we did pick things that you can grab from the library
We
itself.
should check again to see, because the last time...
Some of those things were on order last time.
add those
So
to,
yeah,
like,
we'll keep looking at
Bad
it.
Bunnies
Mm-hmm.
was not in the collection quite yet. And there was
But
something
other
else.
albums from all of these artists are all
Yes.
available.
Yeah.
Which is grand. So that's the link for that one. You can also continue to vote on to the chat right now if you have a very strong opinion on who should be winning any of those matchups. Otherwise, you can fill out our online voting there. We're not just anyway, you can do this too. Do that.
The online form,
That's
our
right.
Instagram stories. You can comment on the Instagram post.
Yes. Now let's go into our last matchups of. We've got a real busy week, friends. We do not need this. We can give me a moment. There we are. Hi, we're back. So this next week. So this week in particular that we are currently in, this is a full week of voting.
Yes.
And then Tuesday at 5:30 is going to be our last Tuesday stream,
Yeah.
and our last dedicated one. And that is going to be where we are talking about our Final Four.
Final Four.
Yeah, we'll go through the winners on these.
Yep.
Final Four. We'll figure out what we do.
Yeah. Well, in that case, the book will be going against the video game.
Yep, the books and the video games
So
will
we
be the
can talk
next
about
ones.
the comparisons there, and then
Yeah.
the movie will go against the
Music,
music.
which will be that cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fun. We're looking forward to it.
It will be fun.
So the schedule's in the chat right now. So we've got the voting in person for Final Four will start March 24th, which is on Monday, and then the Twitch stream will be the 25th on the Tuesday. So you can vote in person again, you can vote online, all those things, all of the forums, all the socials will be up and going. Then our championships will be announced. Who's going to be in the championship? That's going to be on the 26th, so that's the Wednesday. So it's real fast. It's going to be
we gotta get it
Monday
in before spring break.
Yeah, Monday is Final Four voting in person. Tuesday is the Twitch stream. Wednesday is championship voting in person. Thursday is the Twitch, where we are going to be during book buffet. We're going to be announcing what the championship is there, and then we're going to be doing book buffet. So hang around for that; it'll be fun. And then Friday is when we announce the winner in person. But April 1st is going to be when we announce it on Twitch, and that is when we are going to be doing a Let's Play. That's at 4:30 in the afternoon. Matt and I will be on to do a Let's Play. We're going to Let's Play something mischievous. So yeah, but we'll announce the winner there. So
Cool.
it'll be good, yeah. So yeah, please tune into the future streams. It's gonna be a really busy week.
That's
It
how we
just
get
won't end.
through March.
Yay, indeed. Hi, Willy Billy. Willy Billy, if you did not catch it before, your votes in the Twitch stream last week definitely got Wicked through, as well as Godzilla and Kong. So no more Sonic and no more Inside Out 2, all because of you. Good job. So thank you for popping in again today. All right. Yeah, score. You did not vote for the underdog. You did great. All right. Well, hope to see you next time. We will be on again this Thursday, not for a media stream or Media Madness stream, but for Book Buffet.
Okay.
Hooray! So that is at 10:30 Thursday morning. Hope to see you then. All right. Groovy. I think we're done. All right. Everyone, have a great evening.
Good night.
Bye.